Mighty God of Thunder, even though it's Halloween actually. Before we go into the movie review, happy Halloween, happy late Friday the 13th, and also happy something that you have events right now is a happy. So, we're not gonna do a Halloween movie review, we're gonna do a review on Thor, which is lead up to the Thor Ragnarok. I can't wait. And also, if you guys didn't see the first Thor movie, don't watch it because there's gonna be contained of spoilers. If you don't care about spoilers, if you don't care about Thor spoilers, because since it came out in 2011, that's fine for you. So yeah, Thor is the second MCU movie I have ever watched in the theater. And yeah, so Thor is where you got, and the star in this movie is Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Hopkins, Idris Elba. These four actors that I really know in this yet, and Jane Foster. Yeah, Jane Foster, which is Natalie Portman. Actually, what are there? There are very great casts out there. I'm so excited to talk about. So the plot in this movie is where they got this god mighty thunder named Thor. Thor actually, I don't know what is his full name actually, is where you got this guy named Thor who has a very expensive hammer that nobody can pay except the god of thunder, Thor. And he has his brother named Loki, who is acted by Tom Hiddleston. The others are actually good, and the Thor father is Anthony Hopkins, and yeah. So despite the story actually in this movie, in the story is where you got Thor is gonna focus on all the dark enemies and the ogres and something, because he really needs to focus on very animals and something like that with the long hair and some. So we really need to focus on those enemies and something, but something has gone terribly wrong actually, because Loki has betrayed his father and he becomes evil, because that's where he came from for the Avengers actually. So the Avengers, I thought it's almost the best MCU movie, but I think that Avengers, this is lead up to the Avengers actually, and lead up to the. So I know, guys, next year there's gonna be MCU review except the Thor movies. I'm gonna review it soon, and next year there's gonna be Black Panther and lead up to Avengers Infinity War. So yeah, so the story in this movie is after Loki betrayed his father and something. Loki was trying to kill Thor, and he went down to Earth actually. And yes, he got lost. He lost his hammer. He lost his power, and found by a girl named Jane Foster who really needs to get out with her and something like that. Something happening, because the problem is he cannot really grab his hammer eventually. This is what I got. So there are a lot of hits in the MCU movie, which is I really surprised that when I recognized in the Avengers there's this bow named Hawkeye. I was recognized that he's from Thor, and I was like, oh my god, he's from Thor. That is a very great hint that he's going to be in the Avengers, because Jeremy Renner as the Hawkeye. I'm not a fan of Hawkeye actually, because he's weak, but I'm afraid that I like some popular characters such as Thor eventually. So after that, Thor has eventually lost. He really needs to find hammer so hard, and so that Loki has froze Odin and Heimdall. He's in Asgard, in the place called Asgard. So after that, all this happens. There's this big guy going around here, which I already forgot, because the first time I see this movie is already in the theaters, which is 2011. So I enjoyed this a lot actually. So we're gonna spoil at the end, guys. Don't forget. So yeah, did Thor grab his hammer? Yes, he gets his hammer back and fight the big guy, and especially when he goes to the Asgard and defeat his brother. And yes, his brother went lost in the portal to set to the Avengers. So after all this happens, Thor saved Asgard actually. So yeah, that's one movie. Let me talk about some things that are mistakes. I'm not saying this is not the best MCU movie, but I think it's kind of good actually. I think it's great. I think it's very genius. When I saw this movie is very great. and I guess some case the cast is also great. But especially when this movie goes 74%, which is not that amazing. But hopefully Ragnarok will be amazing because since Ragnarok is different type as Guardians. As Guardians. Okay, that makes sense. So all that happened, they have great hints, they have great Easter eggs, they have very great villain, especially Loki. And I thought Loki is one of the best MCU villains, but I don't think it's the best because I think Thanos will be the great MCU villain or the best MCU villain I have ever saw. So great visual effects, great great casting, great acting. I think he's great. He's the best choice for choosing as Thor because I thought he was very great actually. So yeah, so guys, I think this movie is great, but not as best MCU movie. But I gotta say, this is actually better than the sequel. Spoiler alert. So I meant to say that. That's very great actually. I'm gonna give Thor a B. Before this video ends, this is gonna be my last movie review with grades right now because I'm starting off with a 1 and 1.5 to 10 right now because it's gonna give to the movie reviews and games right now. So start now. So I think Thor is great, but not very great. So guys, what are your thoughts on Thor? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Or do you think it's okay? Or do you think you dislike it? Anything else? So guys, thanks so much for watching for my Thor movie review. And next up for the Thor The Dark World and a one hit, what I think of the sequel. That is actually my least MCU movie of all time. So thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to lead up for the Thor Ragnarok. And next week there's gonna be a very different, because I'm gonna start with horror movies, and after all the horror movies, because since this month is Halloween. So yeah, happy Halloween, guys, and don't forget. And I'll see you next time.